Hey everybody, welcome aboard. So today I'm going to show you guys how to do, the biggest question I've been asked upon 100% completion of the game is how did I get all the cars? So I'm going to show you a way via crafting to sort of maximize crafting, get all of the vehicles, sort of unlimited resources out of your own inventory without having to pick up additional stuff if you already have things available, and unlimited money as well via the same setup. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into how that all works. I think at the end of the day, it takes about 1.8 million to get all of the cars. But I'll sort of explain a little bit more of that. So as far as what you'll need, you don't need to fully maximize crafting. I just happened to go into that one because there's a door that could be opened with 20 technical ability, and I didn't even really think about it and just went, yeah, I've got it, and realized that this is probably going to be one of the, I wouldn't say the hardest one to level 220, but it is kind of difficult, and this will also be this setup will sort of knock 3 achievements out at once. It's like level 20 crafting all the vehicles, and then you can craft 3 legendary weapons, and then there's one other one I'm kind of blanking on at the moment, but at any rate, so what you're gonna want is scrapper is a big one. You can get that one super early. That's all junk items are automatically disassembled. That's a big one. It saves a lot of time, so you don't have to do that, because the crafting in this game is not great, especially because you can't make or disassemble multiple quantities of items with the exception of one, which I'll show you here in a bit. And so it just takes a long time to do it, and the experience you get from most things is not super viable, so it's kind of cumbersome all around. But the other thing is like for the last level and the previous ones, it was like around 55,000 or so experience. Each item you disassemble only gives you 4 experience. It doesn't matter if it's a legendary, epic, whatever. It's only 4 experience every single time. So generally speaking, the best thing to do is to do that until you've gotten enough money that you need, and then sort of just do the rest for components and stuff, because that'll give you more experience, more components, and level you up, all that, etc. So anyway, you need that one there. This is a big one. Crafting gives you a 20% chance to get an item for free. This perks way more often than you would think it does. I've had it do 6 or 7 times in a row before. It just keeps happening. So that's a big one. Allows you to upgrade lower quality components into higher ones. So basically these 3 are pretty crucial. Then reduce upgrading cost by 20 is one that you can hit or miss, but it's definitely helpful. This is another one that can help a lot because it'll give you more things to disassemble, because you don't really need 200 scopes and all that stuff. You only have 3 weapons at any time, and then if you disassemble the old scope, you get it back anyway, or the old gun, you get it back anyway. So that's another one. Rare items is one you'll need for sure. Epic also. The legendary one you don't necessarily need unless you're going for that achievement specifically, but it is a part of it. And component crafting costs by 30%. So quite a few of the ones in here. The rest of them are hit or miss. This one you don't necessarily need, but and this one can help too, getting more components. At any rate, so that was a long-winded discussion for that, but those are some things that are crucial to this, or at least very helpful to it. So the items you're going to be looking for are slow rotor. That's a big one, and then the EMP grenade, specifically these 2. So the thing with this one is, and I've already crafted a few of these, so I'm not going to go through it, but if you look here, it's 12 and 12 of the rare components, right? And then the big one here is going to be 1 and 1 of the uncommon components. And then this one also creates an epic item. So we're going to go into the backpack here, and I'll show you exactly that. So if you're in the backpack section, if you hover over something, it'll actually show you over here what components you'll get out of it. As you can see, it was 12 and 12, but you will get 7 of those back and 3 of the other back. And then you'll also get 3 and 4 of the uncommons, which you didn't use to make this thing at all. So that will sort of fund your uncommon thing for the next bit, which is making the grenades. Because once you disassemble the grenades, you also get 10 components in total, but 3 and 3 of the blue ones, which you didn't use to make this, and then 4 of the epic components, which you also didn't use to make this. And the big thing with the grenades is I have 4 there, but this is one of the few things you can actually disassemble in a large batch, and then it'll give you all those back. So effectively what you're doing is making slow rotors, disassembling those, and then making grenades, then disassembling those. And then what you can do after that point is sort of go into here. So if you need the chips, you can use 6 of those, make a chip, and then that'll be used for all these. But they all only take 1, so you don't really need a whole lot of them. These are going to be kind of the things you'll use for the major experience gains, because like the grenade I think is only like 6 experience, I want to say, when you make one of those. And then the slow rotor is like a decent one, which is like 144, I believe, if I remember right. So that's the infinite sort of crafting deal there. I think you will eventually run out, but because this whole process can be done with only one of each of the lowest components available, it's very easy to get those again. Like anything you kill will give you some, and you can kind of start the process over. But I have leveled this from 10 to 20 doing this method with stuff I'd already gathered while playing through the game, and I didn't have any issue. So, and still have a ton of stuff left. So there's that. And I will say too, if you're specifically going to level to 20 with this, upgrading tier quality of a weapon gives you the best experience. Like upgrading, say, I don't know, one of these up to a legendary if you can, or whatever, whichever ones you can do that with. That gives you the most. Like I would say on average, each of these guns was like 260 experience, but upgrading, like say Johnny's jacket from one tier to the next was like 24,000 or 2,400, which is the highest I've seen. So that seems to be the better way to do this, is by actually upgrading stuff. The difference being is the component cost on all this stuff is extreme. But some of these components, like the wires here, and then the upgrade chips there, and then these guys are only used for upgrading. So you'll probably have a lot of those anyway. And then with that method, you'll get more, and then again, you can upgrade to get them. So that's that. As far as unlimited money goes, it's a very similar process. It's going to be this gun specifically, only because of the value of it is at 1,000. So if you look at these, it's like 600 on those, 300 there, and they're all the same components. Whereas this one is the same, but it gives you the highest money, and it's 1,000, which I'll explain here in a second. You could do these, but again, it's another thing that's going to take another set of components. You could do that if you don't really plan to do anything else. If you're just kind of going for money, you could go ahead and burn through these items, because you're going to be getting a fair bit of them back with the grenade here and disassembling that. But it's not. This one I say to do because it is 1,000, and I'll show you why here now. If you look at these, so the drop points have 20,000 bucks in them every day. And what that means is, like, you can craft, I'd say 19 weapons, and then sell all those. You'll end up with the machine having, I think, $220 left, and then you've made 19,000. And then on the map here, this specific point, you want to go to Gold Niwaka Plaza, because it has 2 of these directly next to each other. And so what you'll do is, and actually let me show you that just for posterity purposes real quick. I'm sorry, I spent like 4 or 5 hours doing this yesterday to get all this said and done. So I'm a little burnt out on the crafting side, but I wanted to at least share all this stuff with you. Yeah, so if you go in here, you can sell those. One thing to note is, like, only try and keep 3 weapons on you at any given time, like your main 3, just so you don't, when you're fastly going through, say 40 or so guns, you don't just sell those off, because buying them back is insane. It's like, yeah, 33,000 to buy it back. It only sells for 1,000. But if you saw there, it's down to 14. You can do that on both of these, and then all you have to do at that point is just go to skip time, hit back once for 24 hours, load back in, and then it's reset to 20,000. So effectively around 38 to 40,000 every time you do this, and then in addition getting all of the experience for the crafting and stuff like that, which will give you more perk points and other things if you're not like specifically focused on that. And this thing you can actually do, with any grade of crafting, because it is like one of the lowest guns available. And if you don't have the specific pattern for that gun, which is, I'll see if I can't give you the name of it again. I think it's a Nakamata or something like that. Yeah, Nikomata. You can actually buy this for $1,000 at the weapons vendor by your apartment where you start. So even if you don't spec hugely into crafting, if you do this, and I would say probably doing this one here, the crafting component. So I'd say that's either like 10 maybe at maximum into this, because I started at 10 when I started doing this whole crafting setup. Or no, I take that back. But I think it's either like 10 to 15 or something. It's I think it's one of the lower end ones though. And that one will reduce the cost of all this stuff, so you can do this more often continually. So generally speaking, at almost any crafting capacity, you should be able to do this and get kind of infinite money and all that stuff out of it. I've already gotten all the cars and all that. I can show you the map if you need to see that. But yeah, these are all just, this is a bugged mission, and then this is the final mission, and all the other points are cleared and all that stuff. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully that helps you guys. Sorry if it was a little long-winded, but had a lot to go over there. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.